Hi family and friends, welcome to Glow's Kindred Kitchen and I'm Glow. Well, today I decided to share a recipe with you guys that's from the Red Rocker Inn. It's a bed and breakfast in Black Mountain, North Carolina. And I got to tell you, first of all, their food is absolutely delicious. And I've had this cookbook for probably about a year now, maybe a little bit more. It was gifted to me by my brother and sister-in-law that had stayed there overnight, and they had bought it for themselves, and they cook but not as much as I do, and they decided to give it to me, and I have put it to great use. But one of the recipes I had not made yet, and when we went there for dinner, they served this apple butter along with biscuits, and it was absolutely delicious. And when I read this, and I had read about this recipe in this cookbook, let me show you what the cookbook looks like. I can find the cover here. But one of the ingredients in there, in this recipe, I thought, oh, that's not going to be very good, so I just never made it. And that ingredient is pineapple, crushed pineapple. And both Richard and I really do like apple butter. But I've got to say, this recipe is probably one of my favorites. It's not real heavy and full of the spices. It's just light and perfect. So I wanted to share this with you guys. I'm actually going to make this for some Christmas gifts this year because it's that good. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I did is I bought a container of applesauce, and this recipe, by the way, it's very large. It calls for 6 pounds, 12 ounces of applesauce. Well, we'd be having this around for a long time. I would probably make that large recipe for the holidays, for gifts, but just for every day, this is going to be fine for us.
Jeez, 6 pounds.
Right. So anyway, I went ahead and I took this down to a third of that recipe. So we're going to use 4.5 cups, and I have organic unsweetened applesauce here. So we're going to just go ahead and pour this in this pan. And it says to use a heavy bottom pan, and it says to cook it on the stove for a couple of hours, or you can do it in your oven. Either way, you're going to need to stir it occasionally so it doesn't stick.
What temperature is that at, Miss Glow?
You start it on the stove like medium high, and once it starts to bubble a little, you can lower the temperature so it's just like a simmer. Mm-hmm. So then you're going to add 1.5 cups of brown sugar, light brown sugar. I went ahead and I measured that out. And 1/4 cup of crushed pineapple. And 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. And 1.5 teaspoons, and this is 1/2 teaspoon measuring spoon. So I'm going to need 3 of them, of cinnamon. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner on, medium high, and I'm going to just stir this up. But how easy is that, you guys?
Looks pretty easy, Miss Glow.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this up so it all gets mixed together. And I'll be back when it starts to come to a boil, and then we'll be turning it down to low. Well, I just wanted to show you, here it is simmering away. I just turned this down to low. Now my burner does cook hot, so I may put a diffuser underneath this as it's cooking. In fact, I'll show you what a diffuser looks like. Richard found this at a store for us over in Sevierville, which is by Gatlinburg,
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. And this works really well. I've seen them on Amazon too. But you put this in between the burner and the pot if you can't get it down to a low enough simmer so nothing scorches. But we'll see how it goes. So you're supposed to stir this now every once in a while, probably like 15 minutes, so that nothing sticks. If you do it in the oven, you're going to cook this at 350 degrees, it says. And you do need to stir it probably about the same amount of time so that nothing sticks. You probably wouldn't have to watch it quite as closely in the oven, or if you found that it's getting away from you, just turn the heat down a little. But the goal here is for it to reduce. So anyway, I'll be back with you when we're, in about 2.5 hours, and then we're going to have to refrigerate this so that it cools off. We'll see you back in a while. Hi. Well, our apple butter here is all done. Look how nice and thick that got.
Looks good, Miss Chloe.
It tastes delicious, by the way. It's been it's been in the pot here on the lowest setting, and I did use the diffuser for 2.5 hours. So we're going to go ahead and what I've decided to do is to put it into these jars. And these are just pint-sized jars. So what I'm going to do is just fill this up. And this is just a funnel that helps it to go in so you have less mess. See how nice and thick that is?
Looks
and
good.
It will thicken even more in the refrigerator. I don't think I'm going to need all 4 of these jars, but I just thought I'd pull them out because I'm going to need some jar. Oops, I made a mess there. Because I'm doing some chicken stock also, some bone stock, so I'll need jars for that as well. So, let me wipe this up. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue with this, and I'll be back and we'll see how many of these I get. Well, our apple butter is all done, and it is so good, you guys. You got to try this recipe. And I just got done baking these biscuits, so I'm going to go ahead and break one of these open. These biscuits are delicious too.
They're both from the Red Rocker Inn.
So I'm going to go ahead and put a little of this on here. Well, you can smell the apple and the cinnamon. You really can't smell the pineapple. But I must say, this is probably one of the better apple butters that I've ever had. This is so good, you guys. Look at that. You can taste the apple and the cinnamon, and I did get a little bite of the crushed pineapple. It is so good. So good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do. And if you've enjoyed it, give me a like, thumbs up, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Hope you have a great day. Bye.